West to chase down the Mets. Tonight they welcome back their leadoff hitter and starting center fielder, while Steven Strasburg aims to beat his hometown team for a 5th time in 6 tries. The Nats hosting the Padres right now on Masson.
It's a big night at Nationals Park. Anthony Rendon Garden Gnome. And we got some live gnomes at the ballpark as well. Families are coming in, having a great time. What an atmosphere for a Tuesday night in a pennant race against a quality opponent. The San Diego Padres have won their last 4 series. The Nats have won 4 of their last 6 games. NFP, it's got a bit of a playoff feel, even though this is San Diego and Washington, because these 2 ball clubs have a lot to play for.
Well, it's got a playoff feel because the Nats have to get going right now. It's go time. It's the first time all year they've had their starting lineup in order, and Denard Span back in there today, and he's the one that makes them go.
It felt really good to write that name in the scorebook a couple of hours ago. The Nats have missed this guy, both defensively and, of course, at the top of the order.
Yeah, 10 games over with Denard in the lineup, 10 games under with him out in the lineup, 11 games over with him in the lineup, and I just, him being back, it feels good to have him back. And we talk about with Wirth and Zimmerman and Rendon, give him some time. Well, Denard doesn't have that luxury. He's right in the middle of a pennant race. He can't take time to get his swing ready. I mean, it's a lot to put on a guy, but he's got to be ready to go right now. With the way the Mets are playing, 5.5 games back, Denard's got to go. Here we go.
And it falls on the pitching every night as well. Steven Strasburg, since he came back, 3 real solid starts. And the Nats need him tonight. They're going to push Max Scherzer back a couple of days to match up with the Mets in 2 weeks, but Strasburg tonight.
Well, he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. He's been so on time with his delivery, his stride throwing through the target, his 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastball, the command. He's just been as good as I've ever seen him. And it's got to continue here tonight. You don't want to over-dramatize it, but to me, the playoffs start tonight for the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, it's a good call. James Shields, they called him Big Game James, although his season started out a lot better than it's gone lately. The ER rate not that much different, but the Padres aren't giving him any runs.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to pick who he wants to pitch to. He's a veteran guy, a lot like Dan Herron. He's coming off a real good outing where he went 6 shutouts. So we'll see here tonight. It doesn't matter who they're facing. They got to figure out a way to win baseball games.
Can he keep the ball in the ballpark the way the Nats were slugging against the Milwaukee ball club over the weekend? The Nats hit 6 home runs, so it was Harper, Taylor, Rendon, Ramos, Rendon again. The Nats going long distance lately. They are 5th in the National League with 125 home runs. How about some hits and some long balls against a solid San Diego ball club?
Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Navy Yard close by, Southwest Waterfront, but the guy we're really glad is close by is Denard Span. Back in center field tonight. We'll see him lead off in a few moments. The Nats and the Padres. Yeah, indeed. Welcome back, Denard, and he does make the Nats go. Beautiful night, clear skies, 82 degrees in the district. The Nats are 33-24 at home, coming off a couple of series wins. One on the road against Colorado, one at home against Milwaukee. And here's the lineup. Matt Kemp's having a big year. He's on a 15-game hitting streak right now. He's in the top 6 in the league with 38 multi-hit games. A couple of career hits against Steven Strasburg, 5 for 14 this year against the Nats. And Steven, 4-1. 5-game start against San Diego. Here we go. First pitch swinging. We're underway at 7:06. Wilson Ramos gets rid of the mask, and there's your first out.
Well, Steven Strasburg's been good. 4-1 with a 1.26 in his last 6 starts. He struck out 43, walked 6, held opponents to a 167 average against. And the fastball's been crackling around 96 miles an hour. He's touched 98. And the difference has been the mechanics and the confidence in that fastball.
Yeah, everything's been working off that, and it has been crackling good lately. Next up, 24-year-old infielder Corey Spangenberg. He's on a 3-game hitting streak. Some of the Padres are swinging the bats pretty well, but they're bottom 3 in the league in batting average, but in the top 7 in runs. Spangenberg 0 for 3 against Strasburg. '97, right by him. David Rackley has the plate. Bob Davidson at first. The crew chief is Hunter Wendelstedt at second base. And at third, Marvin Hudson. (0-2) with 1 out.
You know, I liken Steven Strasburg's mechanics and how he's been able to repeat him to a hitter that stays through the baseball. When a guy pulls off a ball, you hit a weak fly ball with that tail action to it. And when you stay through a baseball, you backspin it and you see that extra gear, the low line drive that carries out of a ballpark. He's doing the same thing with his fastball right now. His stride is consistent. He's throwing it through Wilson Ramos, not really spinning off. He's got some serious late jump on that 97. And you're seeing guys late consistently just like that.
High and late, and strike 3. 2 outs in the inning, and a good matchup coming in a moment.
Yeah, just watch how he stays through the fastball, and it's got that late jump. If you remember earlier in the season, he was kind of spinning off, so that 97 was easy to see. I don't know if it was 97 when it was getting to the plate, and it was hit around a lot. And you're seeing a lot of late swings, and you're seeing a lot of swings and misses with the Strasburg fastball the last 8 or 9 starts.
Yeah, strikeout to walk ratio has been fantastic. That looked like it was borderline up in the zone to Matt Kemp, who steps in hitting .267.
Been hot, 15-game hitting streak.
22 hits over that time. That's a good neutralizer right there.
Instead of the defense for the Nats Worth, what is that, Span? Is that how you say that? In center, Harper, Desmond Escobar left side, Rendon Zimmerman right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Missed 40 games. There he is. Hashtag Spanning. Great to see him back.
Absolutely. So Strasburg goes a couple of mid-80s breaking balls to get ahead in the count here. Matt Kemp, career against Steven, 2 for 8 with an RBI, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, Kemp's hitting .315 since the All-Star break with 7 home runs and 29 RBI. He's been white hot.
Approaching 200 home runs. He leads baseball with 30 go-ahead RBIs this year out of his 76. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missing with the breaker. It's Bob Davidson on the appeal. No swing.
Where was the pitch? I think that's what Strasburg wanted.
Ooh, you're right.
.98.
Yeah. I looked down at these two, and the first indicator in my mind was big boy at bat. Justin Upton on deck for the Padres. Payoff pitch, and he missed up and away.
Pretty good pitch.
I'm not sure he threw any that far off the plate in the entire at bat.
Might have just missed outside. Look, it hits Ramos's glove. He tries to frame it, and a pitch that could have gone either way goes Kemp's.
It is Justin Upton's 28th birthday today as he steps in. He's 5 for his last 14. He and Strasburg have met a lot. There's not a whole lot of mystery here. 29 at bats. He has 9 hits.
Mets facing Jerome Williams tonight. 2-0.
2-0 Mets?
Yep.
Okay. Syndergaard going for New York. They lead the Nats by 5.5.
It was 2-0 when they got on their 4 o'clock bus to the hotel, the way they've been scoring.
Yeah.
They're playing football against everybody right now. They've really opened up the offense and are throwing the ball way more than they used to.
Yeah.
They used to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust till they made the trades, and now they're running the spread offense.
They're scoring like they're playing half court in Philadelphia in that bandbox. Strasburg off the stretch for the first time here. Pitcher stepping off, hitter stepping out. Blowing a bubble. You can see Upton, he's got pretty much the elbow and the hands almost over the inside edge of the plate. How to play right side, that'll even things up.
Might be talking about the velocity of that throw over to first base.
And the 1-1, he tried to check his swing and the ball off the bat. Back to the backstop, strike 2.
I hear a little groundswell of applause from the crowd here to 2-strike count. Top of the first inning. I think everybody's starting to realize how important every single pitch and every single game is from here on out.
Yeah, loving the atmosphere. The ballpark just feels alive tonight.
It does.
And a 1-2. And Strasburg, he's close with these breaking balls.
But if you watch Wilson Ramos's glove, it's going down toward the ground, and that's taking kind of the pitch and making it look lower than it actually is. If he can stick that landing, kind of hold that ball right there, he might be able to get one of those calls because they're close.
Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour. So a foul out to the catcher, the only contact of the inning. Here comes Denard. He's hitting .304 this year. Can't wait. This is a big league performance by our Nationals Park crowd right here. Denard Span announced, standing ovation. And he might have to step out just to kind of relax and get his composure. Well done.
That's got to make him feel great.
On the grass at third, Solarte, the third baseman. First pitch is on the corner, strike one. James Shields.
A fastball 91. He'll cut the fastball at 86. Curveball change to go with it. Last start on the 18th against the Braves. Got the 9-5 win. Pitched 6 shutout innings. Gave up 5 hits. Struck out 7. Walked 2.
Span out to short. Ball kind of spinning out to Jed Jerko for the first out. So the Nats up to 5th in the league in runs and 5th in homers. Bryce Harper's been leading the way all year long. He's back in the cleanup spot with Rendon in front of him, Escobar and Zimmerman behind him. And he's done plenty of damage. I mean, 19 and 52 from that spot in the lineup, and he's facing a right-hander tonight. Interesting, though, Span, Escobar, and Ryan Zimmerman, the only Nats who have face shields in their careers in the lineup tonight. Here's Worth.
Now Shields, a guy that's going to pick. He's going to move his fastball around, mix it up, pick a guy or two in the lineup that's not going to beat him. Go after the guys he wants to go after. He's a veteran guy. Knows what he's doing out there.
13-9 and then 14-8, 34 starts each season. The last 2 for the Royals, American League champions last year. He hasn't pitched fewer than 200 innings since his rookie debut in 06. He's a horse, led the league in innings, the American League, a couple of years ago. So he's a 123-game winner. 22 career complete games, 9 shutouts. Faces the Nats for the first time, and it's been a long time.
Velocity down a tick. Last year's fastball averaged 92.4. This year 91.2.
Three balls, 1 strike. And Worth will take it upstairs. So Jason, who sits safely 6 of his last 8 games, now gets aboard. He had a 4-hit, 2-walk weekend against Milwaukee.
So the defense for the Padres tonight behind James Shields, Upton, Jankowski, Kemp the outfield, Jerko, Solarte left side, Spangenberg, Alonso right side, and Derek Norris behind the plate. Just a different feel to this Nats lineup when you look at how they're set up now. This is the first time all season they've had their starting lineup. It's Span, a guy that'll work some pitches. Worth, a guy that's going to work a count. Anthony Rendon, same way. We've seen Bryce Harper all season long do that. Yunel Escobar will work a count. Now, if you're pitching against this ball club, you really have to fight to get through it 2 or 3 times. They're going to make you work. Ryan Zimmerman will make you work. Ian Desmond's been walking lately. It's just got a whole different feel to it, and the band's all back together, and it's time for them to go.
No balls, 1 strike to Rendon. 4 for his last 13. So Shields got a call on the inside edge. Didn't get that one, and the count's even 1-1. Anthony really came alive over the weekend with the bat. 5 RBIs in the Milwaukee series with a couple of home runs. Walked 4 times, had 2 hits. Looking at all the way in, ball 2. Yeah, smiling. That's what he does. He smiles and he hits. A lot of room right side. 2-1 count. Worth holding. Rendon takes a strike, and it's 2-2. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Didn't like the low pitch in the top half of the inning. Likes it in the bottom half of the inning.
Target is in, and Rendon gets a piece of it. Ball carrying short of the track, left center. That's Travis Jankowski for the second out. And now Bryce Harper.
We had a good trip when he went to San Diego. Hit a few taters there.
Bryce had 8 hits in that series. 2 homers. He had 6 RBIs. And they walked him 6 times. The Nats won 3 out of 4 there. Back in the middle of May in a Thursday to Sunday weekend series.
So this is the same shift the Brewers put on Bryce on Sunday, and remember, he tried on purpose to hit the ball that way, and he did it. You know, one was a bloop double over third base, the other one kind of fell into left field. And if you pull this shift on him, he's not stubborn where he'll try to hit through it like a lot of guys. He'll try to go that way, especially if Shields gives him something to do it with, especially with the third baseman Solarte guarding against the bunt. He's got the whole left side of the infield. And lots of respect in the Padres outfield. They're playing deeper than deep.
1-0 pitch. Evidently Bryce got the chalk and tried to cue one over there. Counts even 1-1. Early game notes for you. Series underway. 13 career games against the Padres, and Bryce Harper raking. He's one of the reasons the Nats have beaten them 12 out of 18 times the last 3 years. Padres starters doing a good job. We told you they're playing very well, winning 9 of their last 12. The Nats always seem to score against this team, even though they've had good pitching over the years. Harper, right field, but he didn't get it. Matt Kemp, well short of the track. And that's it for the Nats. Each team gets a first inning walk, strands a runner, some big time nutritious dinner at the ballpark tonight.
admits that he's not totally 100% as he works back from his back spasms. And he says, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how this is going to go for me as I ease back into action. But he did say, I want to give DC all that I've got. I want to give this organization all that I've got. And one thing that people won't be able to say after this is that Denard Span isn't tough. I asked him how he feels about his team's chances back 5.5 games of the Mets with everyone now healthy and in the lineup. He said, if I had money, which I do, I would put money on us. He said there's no betting in baseball, but he's confident in his group.
Good stuff, Dan, on our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. His first baseman, Yonder Alonso, top of the second.
Well, they definitely can use his on-base skills, his stolen base skills, his run-scoring ability, his defense. But I think the thing they really could use is his swagger and the confidence that he had. If he can get that and instill that in the rest of the ball club, that'll be the most valuable in my mind.
First base hit of the ball game for either team. Alonso cleanly up the middle. He's now 2 for 10 career against Steven Strasburg. Next up, Jed Jerko, and then the former Nats farmhand, the catcher Derek Norris. And Jerko with a 4-game hitting streak like Alonso came into the game with. Padres swinging the bats well in those last 12 games, 9 of which they won. They've scored 69 runs, 5.75 per game. And that ball is crushed. Left field, 2-0 San Diego. One hop to the back of the bullpen wall. And that's Jed Jerko's 9th of the year. Strasburg gives up his 9th.
That ball's touched. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and he was all over it. You see the run back right into his sweet spot. Started on the outer third, ran back to the inner third. Obviously looking fastball, caught her out front. Padres bullpen knew it was gone, and Steven Strasburg knew it was gone. 2-0 Pods.
That'll bring up Derek Norris. Fastball to the outside edge. Norris 3 for 13 against the Nats in the series at San Diego earlier. Did a lot of damage against Gio and the Nats while with Oakland last year. 246 coming in. And that's another strike on the outside edge.
You see what he did right there? He gave up a home run on the first pitch fastball. What does he do? He goes first pitch fastball to Norris, who's got 13 home runs. Second pitch fastball, but he located him down the way. They're not shying away from that pitch after it was just hit out of the ballpark. Just located it, got it to the spot. Nicely done. I mean, that's been the difference in my mind. You wouldn't have seen 2 fastballs in a row earlier in the season from Strasburg after a first pitch home run.
And he goes fastball upstairs. Some tail action heading into the right-handed batter. So 4 outs, 3 on strikes, and Nissan tracks it.
Yeah, the first 2 strikes down and away, and this one just kind of runs back across the plate at 98 miles an hour. Almost seemed like it had a little rise to it, didn't it? Right at the end with that 2-seam run.
A lot of action on that pitch. Now they're batting the pitcher 8th. Their interim manager, Pat Murphy, is. Shields 7 hits this year, 3 sacrifices. He's a 170 career batter for spending a lot of time in the American League. He can swing it a bit. Overmatched there. That's some great stuff from Strasburg. Oh-2 with 1 out. And he disposes of the opposing pitcher with strikeout number 4.
Time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this year.
So Strasburg, 92 of them with 21 walks in nearly 83 innings. This is Travis Jankowski, the center fielder.
This is one where if you're Steven Strasburg, you're thinking, okay, lineups back together. Keep him at 2, and I got a really good chance of winning this ball game.
Two-0 pitch. Travis Jankowski, 24 years of age, out of Stony Brook University in New York. A swing and a foul. He's from Lancaster, PA. '44th overall player taken just 3 years ago. He was a compensation round pick back in 2012. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strasburg gets a pop-up. Escobar over. He's there. Then a one-handed basket grab right in front of the Padres dugout.
Okay.
Escobar will lead off. Hey, you can't blame him. I'd stay away from barriers myself. Against right-handers, Yunel Escobar is at 7 of his 9 home runs. Ryan Zimmerman, a lot of RBIs in his career against the Padres, and Ian Desmond has warmed it up in August. Hey, who could fault a guy with that last catch after what happened to Escobar last week?
Yeah, maybe that's why he was less than enthusiastic to run into the Padres dugout for that last one. Made the play. This one, however, kind of ended ugly. Face planted that guy's chest, snapped his neck back, missed a few games with that, shut it down, didn't want to take a chance. And maybe we can see that last catch again because he wanted nothing to do with the rail in the Padres dugout.
Here's Escobar, bottom of the second, on the corner. You know, a lot of years in the American League.
There you go. Just catch the end of it. He knows he's getting close. Not a problem.
Some mild concern on the faces of the Padres. Then he jacks one to left field. That ball was hit extremely hard. And Escobar now 7 for 30 career, having seen Shields a lot over the years.
Well, there goes the no-hitter, Yunel Escobar. The award winner tonight. Bullet in the 5.5 hole. Can't hit one any harder than this. And that's trying to answer the Padres, too, in the top of the second.
So you saw the numbers for Ryan Zimmerman with those 37 RBIs against San Diego pitching. 49 on the year. And evidently, Ryan lately has become one of the most feared hitters in baseball. He has been walked 10 times in his last 6 games. Of course, that started in Colorado, where the Rockies walk way too many of our hitters. And then Milwaukee passed him a bunch of times as well. Ryan had 3 walks in that series.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception in sometimes about a walk, that it's given to you. But I think as a hitter, you got to earn a walk. You got the best pitchers in the world nibbling at corners of the plate, throwing you 2-0 changeups and 3-1 curveballs. And if you have a good eye and you're seeing the ball well, you earn every bit of every walk you get. Unless they put their arm up and 4 wide intentionally walk you, walks are rough. They're not easy.
2-0 pitch. Escobar started, then stopped, and Ryan takes it to the inside half. That's a lot of walks for 6 games. 6.5 runs average, batting average. You hit 271, you're leading the league. On base percentage, really good. 2-1 pitch. Zimmerman to the right side. Yonder Alonso got a late start, but he's over there, and he just didn't look comfortable heading for the first base barrier.
Yeah, maybe he just saw the replay we showed of Escobar on Friday, running into a fan. But hey, the first game in a ballpark he hasn't played in all season long, probably just lost track of where he was. Thought that fence was a little bit closer. See that a lot.
Short lead by Escobar and a step off by Shields. And Zimmerman hits one. Looked like it was down toward the end of the barrel. Fly ball for Jankowski. 1 out.
Dollar Ice Cream presented by Good Humor returns tomorrow. 7:05 start against the Padres. Dollar Ice Cream novelties will be available to purchase at selected Nats dog stands until the 6th inning while supplies last. Get your game tickets now at nationals.com. They're in for some ice cream. There's a gnome. An Anthony Red gnome. They're everywhere tonight.
Harrisburg Senators AA t-shirt tonight. Here's Desmond. Ian's had a good 5 weeks, hitting right around 300. And he waves at that one. He didn't get that first pitch fastball. Shields hasn't pitched against the Nats since 2009 at Tropicana Field. Neither of his 2 starts yielding a decision. Last pitched in D.C. back in 2006 at RFK. And this one down the right field line, just cruising to it. Matt Kemp, 2 outs. Wilson Ramos coming off a nice weekend and a big day Sunday.
I got some big hits. None bigger than this one. The Buffalo going deep to right center, almost in the upper deck. I think off the facing of the upper deck. And he's starting to heat up, hitting the ball with authority the other way. If you make a mistake he'll pull you. 10th home run of the year, 51 RBIs.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Michael A. Taylor out of the lineup tonight because of Span's return. And now you have another guy with pop in that number 8 hole ahead of Steven Strasburg. Wilson 10 homers, 51 RBIs. Had a 4-hit series against Milwaukee.
Getting back to that walk thing, when you're locked in as a hitter, you're seeing the ball right out of the pitcher's hand, and you're seeing rotation. You know what pitch it is. You know early if it's going to be a ball or if it's going to be a strike. But when you're scuffling as a hitter, you're not seeing the baseball at all, so it's impossible to walk. You'll be in the dugout saying, I would give my life to get a walk right now, but I'm not seeing the baseball, so I'm swinging at balls, taking strikes, and you get into those funks throughout the year.
Ramos down the line, hooking, home run. He hit it so hard it didn't have time to go foul. And the Nats are back even on Wilson Ramos, 11th of the year.
Well, you talk about flicking a ball out of here. I just think the difference is he's staying on his legs. That home run was hit with his lower half. And just a bullet that barely stayed fair to tie this game up. And there's the answer that the Nats were looking for and Steven Strasburg was hoping for. Right back at you with a 2 spot in the bottom of the second. Twos are wild. 2-2, bottom of the second, 2 outs.
Steven Strasburg takes a fastball up. 3 for 24 this year. James Shields gives up a lot of home runs. That was the 25th he's given up. .91 upstairs, 3-0 to Steven Strasburg.
Maybe a little rattled.
It was interesting.
Huh.
A 4-pitch walk to the pitcher after the 2-run homer by Ramos right down the line.
Watch him keep his hands back right here. It was an off-speed pitch. He was fooled. He kept his hands back long enough just to flick that ball out of here. Nice backhand effort by the fan, and Wilson Ramos would point to his family. This game's tied. All right.
The ball slammed off that railing, which is a couple of feet behind the yellow line, top of the wall. So clean home run out of here. Shields, of his 25 homers this year, 20 are solos. That's the 5th one he's given up with 1 man on base. So he doesn't usually give up home runs with any aboard, but he did right there. Thanks to Escobar and the great swing by Ramos. Top of the order, Denard Span. First time around, the Nats go 2 for 7 with a pair of walks. Denard looks at it outside, 1-1. Well, important for the Nats to do that. The Mets have posted a 3-run lead, 2nd inning at Philadelphia. Just trying to control what they can control. And Span to right, pretty well hit. Kemp goes back and cruising for it. He had to reach up right at the end. The ball might have carried a little farther than he thought. Wilson Ramos, big man, strong man, right down the line, hooking. Stayed fair. The Nats are back even.
Games this year. Twos are wild. They're everywhere. Check it out. And we're going to check out the 2-run homer by Wilson Ramos. Watch him kind of extend through the off speed right here. Keep his hands back, foot down early. And he absolutely knew this one was out, even if we didn't. Low tracer out of here to tie the ball game up. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run by an Nats player this season. So keep them coming, Buffalo. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Hit speed on that, I'm going to go 91.
91?
Yeah, it wasn't smoked.
I'll go 99.
Well, there you go.
That guy is some kind of strong. Top of the third, top of the order. Here's Yangervis Solarte. First pitch of the game, he popped up to Wilson Ramos. Switch hitting infielder from Valencia, Venezuela. Came over from the Yankees a little over a year ago in the Chase Headley deal. He then hit .267 for the Padres in 56 games with 4 home runs. Had hit 6 for the Yankees. Oh for 3 now career against Steven Strasburg. 34 pitches, 22 strikes, first 2 innings. A 2-1 delivery. Enough in on his hands for a pop-up on the infield. Eddie and Desmond will make the call. And never stop improving, brought to you by Lowe's. First 10 starts, look at that ERA, 6.5 plus. Last 6, and that was before he went on the DL with the oblique. And now 3 starts coming off the disabled list. He's just been outstanding.
That's like 3D. Whoa.
4-1 with a 1.26.
It's in your living room.
Here's Corey Spangenberg, the second baseman. Escobar on the grass at third. And some of the Padres have thought they could catch up with 97 and 98 upstairs early in this game. One pitch. How to play again. Spangenberg actually played part of his collegiate years here in or across the river in Virginia, down in Lexington at VMI. Facing the guy from San Diego. Got him on the corner looking. It came back in. And Steven Strasburg has strikeout number 5. So that's 5 of his 8 outs.
We were watching Steven Strasburg between the first and second innings talking to David Rackley about maybe some calls in the first inning that didn't go his way. You talk to an umpire professionally, maybe you get a call here or there. That curveball tried to come back, didn't come all the way back, and he got the call. Nicely done.
2 outs, bases empty, the way you like it for Matt Kemp. The way he's been swinging. He took a base on balls first time. So the fastball to get ahead. That's a beautiful hook. No balls, 2 strikes.
That was a beautiful view from behind the plate, and you saw the ball move like Matt Kemp saw that ball move down and away from him hard.
That's just unhittable. 98 out there around the outside edge, and Kemp couldn't reach it. 6 Ks for Strasburg. He is impressive, and he's turned his evening around.
It's time to tweet your strongest fan photo using hashtag NatsCouchCam. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Noble.
Getting in the spirit. Bottom of the third, Worth, Rendon, Harper, 2-3-4 for the Nats.
The night of the living gnomes. All right.
And then the Shields curveball, 78. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. 33 pitches for him in 2 innings. Walked Jason Worth and Steven Strasburg his first time through the lineup. And Worth will foul it up into the right side. Lower bowl. Coming in on twilight time here. A few minutes before 8 o'clock on the 25th of August. The Nats are playing their 124th game of the year. They want to jam him on 1 and 2, and they do. Little bouncer in front of the plate. Shields with the bare hand for the first out.
Anthony Rendon with a couple taters against Milwaukee.
He had a 3-run shot on Sunday. That one you saw was his last at bat Saturday night, and then that blast over the bullpen. So, and FP, it's amazing when you watch him how effortless the swing is and how far the ball can go.
When he gets that foot down early and keeps his head on his backside and doesn't drift with his head in the stride, then you know he's on time just like that.
Busted bat, base hit. Nats have 3 hits, and that's their 5th base runner. Always important to get somebody on ahead of Bryce Harper.
Well, it's your gnome night. You got to get at least a single, right? Foot down early, head on the ball, just off the end. And sometimes, folks, the barrel's overrated. You just said it's August 25th. If you had August 25th and the first time the Nats have their entire lineup together, Poole, you should win more than whatever the lottery is right now.
Harper goes up swinging. That ball out to left center. It's going to fade right back to Justin Upton. So Bryce in the air twice, but Shields has kept it off the sweet spot. Quick out, 2 down.
Trying to hit that ball to shortstop, just got under it.
It'll be up to Escobar, who leading off the second rifled a base hit to left field. Then he scored on the Ramos home run. And by the way, we want our thoughts to leave town with Tanner Roark, sent down to AAA Syracuse today when Span was reactivated. Tanner's going to do some starting down there. And there will come a time after September 1st when the Nats may need him in the rotation as Joe Ross gets closer to his allotted innings for the year. And it was not easy for Matt Williams to give that news to him.
Won a lot of games for the skipper over the last few years.
He sure did. And Matt went on to say today that if anybody can take that kind of news and go down and get the job done and return back to the ball club in the next week and a half or so, it's Tanner Roark. He won't be gone long.
See if Rendon thinks about stealing here with 2 outs.
Good hit man in the box with 129 hits on the year. Second to Harper on the team.
Shields with a big leg kick.
Derek Norris has tossed out 33 would-be runners this year. Escobar, and that's a fair ball into the corner. With 2 outs, keep your eyes on Anthony Rendon. Here he comes. The Nats take the lead as Escobar is 2 for 2. Boy, he really lost his stroke being out for 3 days, didn't he?
Well, it might have re-energized him. You get tired this time of year when you're grinding every day, and it looks like he got a change up and knew exactly what to do with it. Let's watch the gnome run. It says on his gnome, there's no place like home. He's chugging for home. Good send by Bob Henley. Dive into home plate. Got to get dirty on your gnome night. And a big swing and a big 2-out RBI from Yunel Escobar to put the Nats up by 1.
There's Ryan Zimmerman, who's been an efficient RBI man while healthy all year. You'll look at that first pitch breaking ball way outside. Ryan 1 for 6 career against Shields with an RBI and a base on balls. Fly ball to center. First time up on a pitch that got him down around the end of the bat. Outside edge. So the Nats have taken 2 innings in a row with more than 1 hit each time to get on the board. Nats a game over 500. Padres 2 under. And Zimmerman, kind of an uncertain swing, and it's 2-2.
Oh, he bet fast 2-1 fastball, and by the time he realized it was off speed, it was too late.
Into the 8 o'clock hour. The Nats have taken the lead here. And a bouncer third base way. And then it's dropped and a bit of a kick by Solarte. Escobar right behind him watching. in case that ball got any farther away, and the Nats have runners at the corners.
This could be an interesting scoring decision. In between hop going toward his own dugout. You have to decide if he feels that cleanly. Is he throwing out Ryan Zimmerman going away from the play on an in-between hop? It was an ordinary effort. If I was Ryan Zimmerman, I'd be begging for a hit right here. I'm 10 right there. They're feeling it.
Yeah, they call it E5.
Yeah.
That's his 9th error of the year.
Can't really argue with that, but I've still been begging.
Ian Desmond could really make that hurt. Phillies have picked up 2 runs against the Mets. 3-2 game in Philadelphia, bottom of the 3rd.
Phillies were up 7-1 last night, and I was like, all right. Excellent. And
yeah, somebody hit the tilt button.
Somebody hit the homer button.
1-1. Desmond up the middle, Shields, and it goes right to the second baseman. Ian Desmond absolutely crushed that ball, and it almost crushed the San Diego pitcher. But the Nats do take the lead. Two 41 RBIs. So Strasburg takes a lead into the middle innings. Upton, Alonso, Jerko, 4-5-6 for San Diego.
So 48 pitches for Strasburg, 10 curveballs, 4 changeups, and 34 fastballs.
High in the air, right field. Bryce Harper drifting to the line, but that ball will get out of play. What a rocket by Desmond to Shields a moment ago.
I watched it during the break. I'm still trying to figure out where it hit him. I mean, I'm sure he'd tell you. I want to say left forearm, maybe? Glove forearm? Glove wrist?
Yeah.
That's the only guess I have. And the hit speed on that was well over 100, I'll guarantee you.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swinging a foul tip as Strasburg continues to pump the number 1 in there. He's retired 6 in a row since the Jed Jerko home run. James Shields somehow out of that unscathed.
Good. Yep. That line drive was 103 miles an hour off the bat of Ian Desmond.
Out to Ian Desmond. Took it on that second short hop. And he throws out Justin Upton, who's 0 for 2. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. Best career strikeout to walk ratio. So, you know, how many strikeouts per every time you walk a guy. So this goes back 125 career starts in Strasburg, ahead of some amazing names on that list. 3 Hall of Famers. And by the way, Tanner Roark to Potomac, right down the road for his upcoming work. Not Syracuse. He'll be close by and able to be here and be in Woodbridge. More reasons to go down to the Fitz. Ball picked in the dirt by Yonder Alonso on the backhand side. Well, or rather by Wilson Ramos, 1-1.
The numbers for Strasburg throughout his career are good when you talk about strikeout to walk ratio, but all that aside, what I'm seeing in his last 6 or 7 starts, the confidence in the fastball is really all you need to see.
Hadn't seen the changeup much. That was 89 just missing. Two-one.
Because from a hitter standpoint, I've said this before, if I'm facing a guy that throws 97, 98, and I see one of my teammates hit a line drive somewhere, and I start seeing him throw curveball changeup up there, in my dugout, we're all saying we got this guy. He doesn't have confidence in his fastball. He's running, air quotes, to his curveball and changeup. But if you see that pitch get hit like it did tonight for a 2-run home run, and then he goes right back in the strike zone, from the other dugout standpoint, there's an intimidation factor that's there that wasn't there before. He's not afraid of his fastball. He's coming right after us again. So it's more of an intangible. So you can take all your analytics and stats and throw them out the window. If I got a guy that has confidence in his 98 and he keeps throwing it, well, now there's a whole different aura and a persona that's standing on that rubber 60 feet 6 inches away. I mean, I heard it a million times in the big leagues. Guys that throw hard, they start throwing their curveball, they start throwing their changeup. You hear guys on the top step yelling, "We got him right now." He doesn't like his fastball anymore. He's going to his off speed. That's not the case the last 7 starts. It's a different pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, challenge heater after he threw the breaking ball that was fouled off a moment before. By the way, that was a 4-run third for the Phillies. They've taken the lead against the Mets. Mercedes-Benz will get you the entire AB here in a moment. 3-2, and he goes off speed. Strikeout number 7. More on Tanner Roark in this situation from Dan.
Bob, the plan with Tanner is this. The Nationals don't expect him to be with Potomac for more than 10 days or so. He's going to have 2 minor league starts. He should be good up to 60 pitches in his first, then up to 80. Then he can rejoin the Nats. Joe Ross has an innings limit of some sort this season. Tanner Roark could be ready to slide into the rotation to take Ross's spot eventually.
Yeah, and the day the rosters could expand is 1 week from today. But that may not be enough time for Tanner to get that work he needs. So that's why they're talking 10 days. Breaking ball in there to the home run guy first time up, Jed Jerko, who hit one into the left field bullpen, his 9th of the year.
See, I mean, guys, it's a guy that hit a home run on a fastball last time up, and he's late on it this time up, and he's still throwing it to him. Just locating it better, making it be away. You want to hit my fastball, now you're going to hit it away.
Out of play, right side. Jed Jerko, a Morgantown, West Virginia guy. 3-time All-Stater over there at University High School. All-time career leader at WVU, hitting .404 with 52 home runs. He's always had a lot of pop. He hit 23 as a rookie 2 years ago. And the Padres gave him a big contract through the 2019 season. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steven will step off. Only 2 other rookie first basemen, or second baseman ever done that. Joe Gordon of the Yankees and a guy named Dan Uggla for the '06 Marlins. Two balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball had him reaching. He and Desmond. Steven Strasburg, a 1-2-3 inning. Strikeout number 7. Couple of ground balls. 3-2 Nats. Some big blows here. Wilson Ramos tied the game. 2 out, 2-run shot. Second inning, the Escobar base hit to take the lead, and Steven Strasburg 43 strikes out of his 65 pitches.
Ball hit the home run. I mean, he picked that off the plate. He golfed that one out of here.
It's a fastball that time.
Watch where this pitch is. Not a bad pitch at all from Shields. Look at Wilson Ramos just go down and get it. That says it's a borderline strike on pitch track, but if you looked at Derek Norris's glove, he was going to pick that out of the dirt. And Ramos golfed that one on a line out of here, and he knew it was out. We, however, did not.
So now Wilson Ramos 5 for his last 8. Couple of home runs. A double. 53 RBIs. 57 career home runs. Boy, Ramos looking power hitterish.
Yeah.
Late for that one. Easy swing, and it's off the facade of the mezzanine.
Can I get an update, please? Can I get an update, please?
Oh, I already mentioned 4-3 Phillies.
Okay.
Yeah. They got 4 in the bottom of the third. So the Phillies now in the field.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
that's my fault.
You're focused on between the lines.
I wasn't listening.
I'm the one who often strays to the other games.
I usually listen to 60% of everything you say, so
and I'm with you, Winter Tie, so we're all good.
Sorry I missed that one.
There you go. Thank you, Chuck.
There we go.
Now Wilson Ramos, that was a close take on a pitch up. Mercedes-Benz will have a good look.
Clearly a ball.
Yeah. Maybe the seam of the baseball got near the corner. That was close.
Clearly outside.
Ramos got a fastball, slams it off of Derek Norris and his gear. Former Nats farmhand who was very highly considered in this organization for several years. Oakland got him in the Gio Gonzalez deal. I mean, look out, folks. Wilson Ramos is hitting bullets everywhere.
That home run he hit was with his hands. He's got some huge paws. Just kind of used all of his hands. Stayed on his legs nice, even though he's fooled. Just, you got to be strong to do that. Look how big his hands are.
2-2 pitch. He is piling up some pitches as well on James Shields here. Leadoff man, 4th inning. Shields about to throw his 60th pitch. And he still got to the breaking ball to foul it off. So Wilson Ramos, this is the number 8 hitter, about to have an at-bat of at least 10 pitches. And that breaking ball too nasty. Couldn't get down to get it. And for Shields, his very first strikeout.
Nats open their 3-game series against the Marlins on Friday, August 28th. It's a 7:05 start. Being one of the first 25,000 fans to receive a Nationals t-shirt presented by American University. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets right now. Thanks, Drew. Well, that's a good gnome.
Right in there to Steven Strasburg, who Shields walked first time up after the Ramos home run. '81 with the breaking ball. And he bolts the fastball to the outside edge. 2 outs. Top of the order, 3rd time around now for Denard Span, who has bounced out to short and on a pretty well hit ball, fly ball to right. So we're starting that 3rd time around in the order that's been tough on Shields. Into this game with a 3.74 ERA, 26 starts. Denard 4 for 29 career against him.
Hit that ball hard his last time up to deep right on a line. Sent Kemp back. It's just good to see him at all. I mean, there was a question whether he was going to come back this year. You didn't know. I talked to him a few times while he's on the disabled list. He didn't know. So whatever the Nats are getting out of Denard Span from here on out's a bonus. And you figure with the rosters expanding after September that he'll be able to have some days off and that Michael Taylor will still be getting some time.
Strike call up in the zone on 2-0.
It's not as imperative as it was earlier. I mean, they were playing with 24 guys. They didn't know whether Denard could play or not early in the season, so they had to put him on the DL. But with rosters expanding, it's not that big a deal anymore if he needs a day here or there, because you're not really short-suiting yourself with the expanded rosters after September.
And what the Nats were able to accomplish by sending Tanner Roark out to get his work, they're back to a 5-man bench where you're not afraid to burn guys in the middle of a game and possibly run out later. So the bench a whole lot better as you see the switch hitters, the 2 righties and the lefty. 3-1 pitch. Denard takes strike 2.
Strike? What do you got?
Generous call. Three-two Nats, bottom of the 4th. Span trying to get on for Jason Worth. He did. Denard Span, 25th walk of the year. And before he got hurt, he had only struck out 26 times all season. And for Shields, his 3rd of the night.
Look at Larry leadoff. 2012, 309. This year, 320. On base percentage, 393. 4-2 team record. 23-15 in 2012. I think more importantly, it sparked him getting in that leadoff spot.
Well, Shields really fired it over there, and Denard had to really get back. Span, perfect stealing this year. 11 without being caught. 152 career steals. Good take. But Bob Davidson says a swing. And Jason steps out for a while. Of course, you can do that after a swing.
Well, it didn't feel good on his wrist. Every time he checks swings, he still feels it in his wrist. He's trying to regroup.
Shields going after Denard with his best moves here.
Still playing with that wrist. That didn't feel good at all. Base stealers 13 for 19 this year off Shields. I just don't know how Denard's feeling. If he's feeling 100% enough to start ripping bags left and right, that's something he might have to build up to.
Yeah. And the pounding on that back, hitting the ground. The Nats have stolen 18 of their last 19 attempts. Way outside. So that walk to Span will cost James Shields a bunch of throws here. He's up in the low 70s on his pitch count. 2 strikeouts, then a walk.
But see, this lineup now is designed for a starter to go 4 or 5 against you. I mean, you're going to get to 100 pitch count in 5 innings against this lineup, how deep it is right now. And when you have Span, Worth, Rendon, Harper, Escobar, Zimmerman, it's going to be 3-2 all over the place. And now, for a month and some change, you beat up somebody's bullpen every night, or at least that's the hope.
2-2 pitch. Count's getting long. And Worth, right field with a base hit. It's a bullet to Kemp. And Matt Kemp is second in the league with 9 assists this year. That ball hit so hard, Denard couldn't even think about third. But the line is starting to move. And now it's up to Anthony Rendon to see how long this inning can go. That's a great at bat. Worth was behind 0-2.
They got their gnome rally hats on. Ish.
A real camera.
It's a gnome official photographer of gnomes everywhere.
Anthony Rendon broke his bat, dropped a base hit into center. Last time up, he's 1 for 2. Nats have made good use of their 5 hits so far. Off speed, low and in, 1-1. Rhythmic clapping by the crowd for another 2-out rally here. Nationals have scored all of their runs after 2 outs tonight. They've out-hit the Padres 5-2. It's a great take, and it's 2-1. You talk about quality at bats. You nailed it right from the start of this one. With this group back together, they are really making James Shields work. People talk about giving at bats away. They're not even giving strikes away.
Well, that's how they won the division by 17 games last year. Just keep the line moving.
2-1, and Rendon pulls it hard into the outfield end of the Padres dugout.
Just having one good at bat after another good at bat. Not always ending up in base hits or doubles or home runs, but just, 2-2, 3-2, foul some balls off, pitch count up. Whoever's out there's huffing and puffing, having to get through this lineup 2 or 3 times. And for the first time all year, that lineup that did all the damage last year is back together again this year with the addition of Yunel Escobar.
There's another good take by Anthony Rendon. The count is full. He struck out the first 2 batters. Ramos and Strasburg did Shields. Walk span, worth the base hit, long count. And now both of those base runners will be on the move for a payoff Rendon 3-2 pitch. And Rendon hits one high in the air to center. Jankowski under it, about 380 away. And the Nats are gone in the 4th. But Shields has had to work a long time tonight. Perfect baseball night. 3-5-0 Nats, 2-2-1 Padres. Derek Norris is their number 7 hitter, but it's kind of like he's number 8, the pitcher on deck. Strasburg struck him out swinging first time. Two days before Christmas, 4 years ago, the Nats traded Derek Norris, Tommy Malone, Brad Peacock, and A.J. Cole for a left-hander by the name of Gio Gonzalez. And 96 just missing. And a pop-up right side. It's back over the screen. Steven Strasburg threw 4 innings, 65 pitches, 43 strikes. And trying to keep a streak of sorts going here. 2-2 with nobody out.
So before this inning, he had 65 pitches. 43 of those were fastballs.
Wow. So there's Nissan with the entire at bat. Overpowers him with the fastball. Looks like it's going to stay in play, and over there Rendon with the basket catch after calling off Ryan Zimmerman. He had the best angle. So that's 10 in a row for Steven Strasburg.
We had a better angle than Ryan Zimmerman, so he calls Ryan off. Ryan doesn't look too thrilled about being called off, by the way. If you see him down the course. He's like, I ran all the way for this. No, but the second baseman always has the angle, just like the shortstop does over the third base whenever you're going into foul territory. Good play by Rendon. Just Ryan's facial expressions always make me laugh. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you know him as well as we do, his face says 1,000 words at times.
I know. I've said it before. He's the funniest guy on the team, and he doesn't know it. Two balls, no strikes to Shields. Strasburg struck him out looking first time. Yes, it's 2-1.
I mean, in essence, he's turned into a closer from the first pitch of the game with his mentality and the way he's utilized in 97, 98.
Shields manages to get the bat on the ball. Nice belt high hop for Ian Desmond. So that's 11 in a row. 2 outs here in the 5th with the center fielder Jankowski coming up next. Geico President's Race. And the guys were in a legitimate race, but a couple of guys in gnome outfits. Rendon on the left, Worth on the right. Nobody going anywhere, and even bang, Bill's going to go down. And then finally, as we get George back up, he was the only one able to escape. I mean, that was assault and battery on 6 of our presidents.
I'm taking my gnome off my desk. I did not realize they were that violent.
Wow.
And he's scaring me now. That's just, I didn't know they were evil gnomes. I thought they were nice.
I mean,
I thought
you see those faces? Those guys are all business.
Give them to kids and, play with them a little bit. Apparently they have a violent streak. So be careful, kids, with your gnome tonight. Put it in mom and dad's room.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Sleep with your lights on, because that gnome will get you. That's why Zimmerman peeled off on the pop-up. He thought Rendon was going to hit him with a bat.
That's a great fastball. Well, Anthony has singled and scored on his night here at the ballpark. Unable to get Jankowski to bite on a pitch in the dirt. Well hit ball, way out of play.
Just looking at his swings and the way he's picking up that Strasburg fastball, if he can locate one on the inner half, I don't know if Jankowski can get to it. He shook to that pitch.
And a bouncer, Ian Desmond. That ball had a little spin on it, and Jankowski really got down the line. Ian had to be strong to throw him out. 12th in a row. Harper coming up.
Even Strasburg to Jankowski right there, and how he's reading swings and having confidence in his fastball. Watch Wilson Ramos. He puts down fastball away initially. Watch. There's fastball away. No. Curveball. No. Fastball in. So he's seeing what we're seeing, that Jankowski can't get to his heater in. So what's he do? He throws one on the middle half of the plate that beats him for a ground ball to shortstop. But just kind of the maturation process of Steven, of not just pitching and relying on his catcher, but reading swings along the way and seeing there's no way that guy's going to get to 98 in. He shook to that pitch and executed it almost perfectly.
Bottom of the fifth. Here's Bryce. Hitter was ahead in the count, and Shields pulled the string on the off speed. Fly ball to right, fly ball to left in the first and third innings. By the way, Escobar's swinging the bat tonight. You'd love to see Harper get on here. Seeing James Shields for the first time.
And kind of to the point about the lineup, even before Denard Span came back. You remember Nelson on Friday night, he threw 102 pitches in 5 1/3. Youngman on Saturday threw 83 pitches in 4 innings. Garza threw 101 pitches in 4 2/3. And now Shields here tonight with a high pitch count.
Harper gets a good whack at that one, heading for the scoreboard. Hits about halfway up. Bryce pulls into second. And that is his 62nd extra base hit of the year on double number 30. So 31 home runs and 30 doubles.
There's some strong humans for the Nats tonight, just flicking balls almost out of the ballpark. Look at Bryce Harper roll the wrist on another low pitch. Not a bad pitch by Shields by any means, but watch Bryce stay through it, roll his wrist. And a lot like the Ramos home run, kind of stay through the baseball on a low pitch. And almost rode that one out of here for a leadoff double in the 5th.
Yeah, that ball was scorched. And here comes Escobar having a perfect night. Single to left, double to left. A run scored and his 41st RBI. The jury's still out on this inning, but right now the Nats only have one base hit tonight that was not part of scoring at least one run. Their first 4 hits all had a hand in those 3 runs. So Escobar back to 130 hits. Bryce Harper has 133.
It's a good idea. Trying to move Bryce along.
And it kind of looks like no matter where you put Escobar in the lineup, you kind of get the same thing. 2 or 3 line drives every night. He's let off. He's hit second. Cleanup until he got hurt the other day. 77, a big curveball.
It's a big at bat, trying to get Bryce Harper to third base at least with 1 out for Ryan Zimmerman. 3-2 game. It feels like it's more than 3-2 Nats at this point, for whatever reason.
Probably does to the Padres too, the way Steven Strasburg's pitching. And a 1-2 fights it off. Pop up right field line, and to grab the foul ball, Yonder Alonso.
80s night coming August 29. Nats take on the Marlins. 7:05 start. Trying to see what we got up here in the top right corner. You could read all the details on the left. I'm trying to figure out what we got here. I'm really not making out anything but the Rubik's Cube. I see Wonder Woman maybe.
So is that what the leg warmers
maybe
look
that's
like,
the
band?
yeah, that's the leg warmers, the band and how they dress. Okay, I got it.
Cool.
You guys know what to do. Just come to the ballpark. We're all gonna have fun.
Saturday night, the Miami Marlins will be here for the weekend before the Nats go to St. Louis and then come right back home. So 1 out, runner did not advance. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, 0 for 2. Pretty good heater to the inside half. Pretty good hack. Braves and Mets on that homestand next week. 4 with Atlanta, 3 with New York. This will be out of play down the right field side. Shields has a great history of complete games and shutouts. As I mentioned earlier, 22 complete games in his career, 9 shutouts. But this year, he's never gone beyond 7 innings. He's gone that far 7 times. 20 times he's gone at least 6 out of his 26 starts.
You know, everybody criticized the Padres at the trade deadline for not dumping some salaries. They're 6.5 out in the West. That's been shaky to say the least.
Yeah, the Dodgers aren't pulling away, are they?
No, they're scuffling. The Giants are scuffling a little bit right now. The Diamondbacks are playing decent baseball. The Padres, as we've noted, are playing decent baseball.
How about a series with serious wild card implications in San Francisco tonight with the Cubs out there? Zimmerman to the right side, 2 hops to Spangenberg. Over to third base, Harper. So we'll see what Ian Desmond can do with the runner at third, 2 outs.
Be sure to text Masson's word of the day, Hyundai, to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Anthony Rendon. Brought to you by Hyundai. Visit your local Washington area Hyundai dealers for summer clearance sales event.
Man, hit a couple of home runs. You are the man around here. There's Ian Desmond. Fly ball to right. And a hot shot that could have been an RBI last time up, but it hit Shields' left arm and deflected right to the second baseman, who threw out Ian to end the 3rd inning.
Heads up on ball in the dirt right here.
There it is. And a good block, textbook by Derek Norris.
And the reason you think that is a runner on third. Anytime a guy throws a first pitch curveball for a strike, he's going to try to throw a shorter one for strike 2 and get you to chase. So he dumped the first pitch curveball in there, get me over, stole a strike. And now he tries to throw a better one in the dirt. Do you think like that if you're heads up base runner on third base?
3 in a row.
And you also know that he hit a fastball last time up right back at him. He's probably not going to see that pitch again. So, you know, all those things go into the thought process when you're on base and you don't have a whole lot to do.
At 86 was the slider blown away. Another one, and Ian Desmond's having a good at bat. It's 3-1. Danger in the box and danger on deck, the way they've been swinging.
Almost got Bryce.
Yeah, that's why runners lead off in foul territory. Despite what he did with that home run, they don't really play Ramos to pull in the outfield. And he's going to serve one to right, or rather Desmond. Ian's going to serve one to right for an RBI. He's going to challenge Matt Kemp, and he's in there with a double. The Nats lead 4-2 as Ian Desmond cashes in his 47th RBI. That was some kind of different swing from Ian Desmond than we usually see.
You know, strange about that swing is I saw him doing that in batting practice today, just taking the outside pitch and serving it to right with kind of a 2-strike approach. That same swing, I saw him practice in batting practice today, and watch him catch Matt Kemp kind of going over there slow and napping, and it's too late by then. Ian Desmond with a hustle double, heads up play. Only thing is, it's going to take the bat out of Wilson Ramos's hand, but you know what? Who cares? That's a great play and a heads up play by Ian Desmond.
Yeah. Well, Ian Desmond, that's his 23rd RBI in his last 33 games. Decision made by the Padres interim manager, Pat Murphy.
I don't know if Matt Kemp's healthy or not, but that didn't look like Matt Kemp going for that ball to his left.
Well, Steven Strasburg, a classic situation in the National League where a pitcher can do a lot to help his cause. 2 outs, 2 on. 5th inning, a run home. Nats lead 4-2. They've out-hit San Diego 7-2. Outfield moves in, especially in center and right. Steven looking for his first RBI this year. He has 13 in his career. could take. 1-1. Shields up to 106 pitches through 4 2/3 innings. They're starting to move around in the San Diego bullpen.
Pretty good hack.
Look out.
Even Steven Strasburg getting in on the making the pitcher work deal here tonight. I like it.
Working the count is contagious. There's right-hander Bud Norris in the San Diego pen. Another good hack, and Strasburg keeps it alive here.
All right.
Picking up on it.
Yes.
So it's Desmond at second, Ramos behind him. Harper's leadoff double pays off in a run. Bryce has now scored 87 runs. Strasburg guides it to the left side, and charging it, Solarte. Nats are gone, but they might have finished Shields with a long run-scoring 5th inning.
Of Arlington, Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. 4-2 Nats as we head to the top of the 6th inning. I'm going to show you some Steven Strasburg highlights, and it's been about the heater tonight, about good old-fashioned country hardball. And number one, 59 of his 84 pitches have been fastballs. He's thrown 50 four-seamers, 9 two-seamers, so 9 sinkers, 18 curveballs, 7 changeups, 84 pitches, and 1 home run to Jed Jerko on a first-pitch fastball. A little ambush piece has been the 2 runs for the Padres here tonight. That was all the way back in the 2nd inning.
He had 12 in a row since. Top of the 6th. Yangervis Solarte, the 3rd baseman. Popped up to Desmond last time. Fouled out to Ramos first time. Escobar in front of the bag on the grass at 3rd. And the count's 1-1. Goes inside under the hitter's hands. Ball 2. Way foul. Padres box score all their hits. Well, they're back-to-back. Yonder Alonso, a clean single up the middle to start the second, then Jerko going deep to the bullpen. There was a walk to Kemp back in the first, and that is it. So Steven embarks on his 3rd time through the order here. Two-hopper. Anthony Rendon has to lay back. 13 straight.
Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Amazing baseball night in D.C. Here's Spangenberg. He's 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. He shows bunt. Escobar on the move. Pitch was outside. This one near the left field line. And a good slide by Ian Desmond on a great effort. Just unreachable.
Pretty good effort by Ian Desmond. He had a long way to go for this one. It was seriously getting it. Yunel Escobar couldn't go for it. He was playing in for the bunt. And that was all Ian Desmond all the way, but you got to like the effort by the Nats shortstop. Flying over there. Full speed into a slide. Just out of his reach. So if you're wondering why he slid feet first and didn't dive head first for that, you know, when you go so far as a shortstop like that, you know it's only a matter of time before that fence is coming. And you kind of feel it.
2-1 pitch. Mid-90s upstairs. This is the first fly ball to an outfielder tonight by a San Diego Padre, caught by Denard Span. It'll be Matt Kemp now, bases empty, 2 outs, 6th inning. 7 strikeouts, 4 infield pops, 5 grounders, and finally a fly ball to an outfielder. Top of the hour. We're into the 9 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. 4-2 Washington out hitting the Padres 7-2 and getting great pitching from Strasburg. He misses away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and miss stuff all night.
Swinging this fastball all night, minus Jed Jerko. I mean, here it is, hit it. First pitch curveball, first strike. Now on a 1-1 count going to his heater, and Matt Kemp tardy.
One-two pitch. Always great against the Padres, his hometown team. That's pretty impressive against ball clubs like the Dodgers, the Giants. Diamondbacks always solid. Colorado, not an easy lineup to face. He's done great against the West. 2-2. He went front door with a breaking ball and just missed.
That 2-run lead allows Steven Strasburg to be a little more aggressive, even more aggressive, I should say, than he has been all night with the fastball. One swing's not gonna hurt him at all. So here it is, hit it. Let's go. See if they go 3-2 fastball again.
Mercedes-Benz on the entire AB with a 3-2 coming. Keeps throwing strikes, and that's well hit out to left center. Jason Worth is there. About 15 feet in front of the 377. He's got it. Denard Span on base once tonight. He'll lead off. Nats by 2. A lot of walking lately. Every time it happens, $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. So 397. We're getting close to 20 grand. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield wants each of you to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Here's Denard Span, who took a base on balls. Last time up, the Nats have had 3 unintentional walks tonight. And James Shields still out there, over 110 pitches. They had their bullpen working last inning with Bud Norris. The Nats have theirs with Casey Jansen. Steven Strasburg's at 102 pitches through 6. Andy's retired 15 in a row. Span pulls it, and right there is Yonder Alonso. Nats box score. Wilson Ramos, a big blow, 2-run homer, 2 outs, second inning after an Escobar base hit. And then Escobar doubled home Anthony Rendon in the 4th. Ian Desmond doubled home Bryce Harper, 5th inning. Well, the Mets got a bases loaded walk to tie the game. Now they've added a couple. And they lead 6-4 at Philly, 6th inning. Worth on base twice. First inning walk. Fourth inning opposite field single. Check swing, right back to Shields. For the achiever in you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. Seems like we check in with Lucas Giolito every time he starts. So at Richmond tonight against those flying squirrels, 5 hits, couple of runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts. Every step a little closer to the big leagues as he goes through his season. Well, James Shields, a lot of pitches tonight. Went 117 against Seattle in a 7-3 loss back on July 1st. Hadn't really been close to 110 since. Anthony Rendon 1 for 3. Good eye on the slider low. Ball 2.
All right, 3-1. Everyone's dressed up like your gnome. It's time for a gnome run.
I was going to say, you trying to tell us you're going to let it rip?
Yeah, why not? You're up by a couple runs.
Up the middle, Shields deflects another one, and this will be a base hit. Spangenberg reacted well, made it close, and James Shields has taken some shots tonight.
I'd be shocked if Pat Murphy leaves him in the game after this. With the pitch count at 121 and a 4-2 ball game, and that's the second time he's gotten drilled tonight. One Ian Desmond line drive off his wrist, and now this one somewhere off the lower half. I mean, he's coming out to look and see if his pitcher's all right, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the bullpen. James Shields has given him everything he has tonight here in 121 pitch performance, and he's talking to the right-hander, and second hit of the night for Rendon.
Todd Hutchison, the trainer, first man out of the dugout, and he's coming out. It's a pretty gallant effort by that guy tonight. The Nats had him at 51 pitches through 3, 81 through 4, and he almost made it through 6 innings for the 21st time this year. Shields done. Harper coming up. to you by University of Maryland, University College. Irvin Santana, the pitcher. Bryce Harper in Kansas City goes deep 2 years ago. Third player in baseball history with 40 homers before his 21st birthday, joining Mel Ott and Tony Conigliaro. His name has been linked to so many amazing baseball names early in his career. And so Bryce Harper will step up here, and he'll be facing the left-hander Mark Zubzinski.
Now, fastball 91, slider 85, occasional changeup at 85. Mark Zubzinski.
You got it.
Obviously, the letters are irrelevant in his last name. He'd be eye-chart if he was my teammate. Mark eye-chart.
Situational left-hander in his career. Low and away to Bryce Harper.
He had a big year with the Cardinals in 2012.
Big league time before that with Toronto and later with Cleveland. Bryce has faced him 1 for 1 with a couple of RBIs and a base on balls. And the 2-0 fastball in there at 91. Bryce had that one in on his hands, and Yonder Alonso takes care of that. That's what get this foul ball, evidently. Okay, we're still going.
Yeah, right off his foot.
Yeah, and he's taken a few lately, hasn't he?
Yeah. So the guard is on the shin, and this one goes. This one goes. This one goes off his foot? Question mark?
No wonder I wrote down 3 unassisted, and this might be challenged here. Pat Murphy is the interim San Diego manager. Name might be familiar to you, former collegiate coach at Notre Dame and Arizona State.
Can you challenge this? Is what I'm thinking you can't. I don't remember seeing this on my challenge sheet. Ball off the foot. It seems like you should be able to.
To me, it's similar to a pitched ball that either hits a batter or doesn't.
It's not a hit by a pitch. You can't challenge fair or foul.
And it looks to me like Pat Murphy wants him to at least check with his crew, but it looks like on a ball that clearly missed Bryce Harper's toe, the at-bat's still alive.
Well, let's see where it got him.
I like the way you phrased that.
He probably felt it more than it. Sometimes on a hit by pitch or a foul ball, you feel it close to you, but it doesn't actually hit you. Bottom another pitch, see what happens.
3-2.
Bottom another pitch, let's see what happens.
Runner at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Norris jumps outside, and that pitch way outside. Of course, Rendon was running on the pitch, and now it's first and second, 2 outs.
Pitch just missed. Good take by Harper.
And we'll see if Zepchinski stays in to throw to Escobar, the right-handed batter.
I think Bryce tripped on the swing, and it was called a foul ball, and he said, I'll take it. Watch him kind of trip the ball close to his foot. Didn't hit him. It didn't look like it hit him, at least. And then he goes down, kind of lost his balance. And then he probably heard foul ball and said, all right, I'll take it.
Hey, when you're having a good year.
Yeah, those kind of things happen to you.
That might make up for one of those that just hits your foot and kills you. And you're sore for 2 days. So Zepchinski is out. It'll be a right-handed matchup with Yunel Escobar coming in. He's had quite a night with a couple of hits. Nats trying to add on, leading 4-2. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Yunel Escobar will be facing 30-year-old Bud Norris here in a moment. He's had a good night after a first inning single.
Yeah, he got a big double his second time up in the third inning. Looked like a changeup up and in, pulled it down the left field line. That would score Anthony Rendon all the way from first base and give the Nats a 3-2 lead.
Well, now it's 4-2. And Escobar could really set the Nats up for the late innings. Bud Norris was released earlier this season by the Orioles, signed with the Padres just 14 days ago. Made 11 starts for Baltimore, 2-9 with a 7.06 ERA. Escobar 1 for 7 career against him with a couple of bases on balls. A busted open opportunity here in the 6th inning. 2-0.
Yeah, Bud Norris fastball's averaging 94 this year. Slider 86. Occasional changeup at 85. He'll cut the fastball on occasion. And you're thinking that Yunel Escobar may have the green light right here with 2 outs.
Left fielder Upton straight away, but the other outfielders around to the right. 3 balls, 1 strike.
I think a lot of the Nats hitters, from what I understand, will get the green light on 3-0. Whether they want to use it or not is up to their discretion. Some guys feel comfortable swinging 3-0, others don't. You know, Adam LaRoche used to love it. Jason Worth loves hitting 3-0. Some guys feel like they're going to get the same pitch 3-1.
Escobar couldn't get to it as Bud Norris humps it up to 96. Nationals have out hit the Padres 8-2. Everybody on the move here. And that's inside. The bases are loaded. Another good grinded out at bat by a Nat hitter tonight. It'll be Ryan Zimmerman now. Bases loaded.
And it's a big part of this ball game. Don't forget, it's just the 6th inning, and it's just a 2-run lead. Ryan Zimmerman has a chance to do some serious damage with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Escobar's 3rd career walk against Bud Norris. Ryan Zimmerman has 2 career homers against the right-hander, 5 RBIs, 4 for 13. Matchup numbers looking pretty solid here. And Ryan's the kind of guy that'll often make you throw a couple of strikes. But if he sees something down the pipe first time, that was a breaking ball that missed outside, 89.
Pretty good numbers career against Bud Norris.
Phillies have just scored a run to make it 6-5 New York. 6th inning up the coast, and the Nats trying to take a 4-2 game and break it open here. Also 6th inning. And Zimmerman, deep right center, scoreboard, bleachers, grand slam. Career grand slam number 5 for Ryan Zimmerman. Celebration and debris in the dugout. And the Nats have taken this game and busted it open.
They want a curtain call.
Ian Desmond stepping in, taking a strike. They still want Ryan Zimmerman to come out. And here comes Gentleman Zim. Desmond base hit right field on a breaking ball, sitting up.
I mean, this was the plan from day one. This was the lineup you were hoping to have the majority of the season, and this is how it was supposed to go. And when you run up a starting pitcher's tab to 121 pitches and you get into a bullpen, this is what's supposed to happen. This was the plan tonight. Work James Shields, get his pitch count up, get into the Padres bullpen. You saw how Pat Murphy didn't want to go to his bullpen. But how big was that foul ball that didn't hit Bryce Harper now?
And that's about all you'll get out of Ryan as a curtain call. Maybe one step. And that's just Ryan being Ryan. 4-run inning. It's 8-2. And here's Wilson Ramos. He's at a 2-run shot.
The band is back together, folks.
Michael A. Taylor had the only other Nats grand slam this year. So 5 runs charged to Shields, 1 to Zepchinski, and 2 now to Norris. And Ramos will reach and hit a high chopper third base way. Bare hand play. Well done by Jan Pervis Solarte. Ryan Zimmerman, 10th homer of the year. RBI total shoots up to 53. A curtain call and a 6-run lead. Most sustained cheers we've heard in this ballpark all year. Maybe the most noise since Max Scherzer's no-hitter. And Ryan Zimmerman big time delivers the Nats lead 8-2. Casey Janssen now, as Matt Williams has his bullpen set up for the 7th inning on.
There's certain moments during the season when I take off my headset to soak it in and just to hear it. That was one of them right there. Back with the Scherzer last out for the no-hitter. Just to hear how loud this ballpark got. And it was, I think sustained is the word you use, Carp, and that's perfect. It lasted for a while.
I mean, our fans have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And I could say it for each month of the season so far. But they've just been ready for this. And with Denard's band coming back tonight, a lot of things falling into place, and Ryan Zimmerman, as he has had the ability to do since 2006, just rises up and takes this town with him. Casey Jansen's been outstanding lately. Justin Upton 0 for 1 career against him. After Steven Strasburg retired his last 15 batters and gave San Diego 2 runs on 2 hits in 6 innings. Walked 1, struck out 7.
That's what I mean by this is the plan. Strasburg goes out there and is totally dominant tonight. Threw 84% fastballs in the 5th and 6th inning. They just dominated with the heater. The lineup making whomever is the starting pitcher really work to get through it a few times, get the pitch count up, then you bring in a middle reliever and boom, 8-2.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Upton. And Casey Jansen will give him a little paint on the inside edge with 88.
Well, you can never see a grand slam too many times in my book, so let's watch Ryan Zimmerman do his thing one more time. It was a fastball away, got into a hitter's count. Actually, it was a fastball right down Broadway, but the inside-out swing, and you're just wondering, is this going to ride the wind long enough to get over the big scoreboard in right center field, and it did. And a 4-2 game turned into an instant 8-2 ball game on one swing.
Nice pick, Rendon. Zimmerman stays on the bag, 2 outs.
Let's watch the violent little gnome go to the backhand side and make a sweet play. After clubbing all the presidents and getting 2 hits, he makes a beautiful play going up the middle. The arm strength, the sidearm throw. Nice play. I can't think of any Nats player that would dislike the attention of having a no-man event more than Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, he's pretty low-key about that stuff.
He doesn't
just want to play ball.
He doesn't like the spotlight. He just likes to play baseball. Likes to get hits, make plays, and win games.
I wouldn't want to be the person who had to go to him and say, hey, we're going to do a garden gnome of you.
He's probably kind of, I don't care, whatever. That's just kind of how he is. Yeah, all right, okay. Last year's gnome passing his crown to the second baseman tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jed Jerko, Casey Jansen. And there were about 3 or 4 infielders with momentum toward the first base dugout. Nissan will show you why. Nearly the entire baseball inside the grid. Jammed in, and Jerko fouls it back. Well, the Phillies got just that 1 run. It's still 6-5 Mets. Top of the 7th at Citizens Bank Park. 3-2. Pitch up. That thing is really hit. And Jed Jerko has a 2-home run night. He is some kind of strong. And it's an 8-3 game.
Just gets a fastball up, rolls the wrist. I mean, this ball's powdered. Look where it lands. Over the red seats in left center. That's where the big boy goes. Second home run of the night for Jed Jerko.
First pitch swinging, Derek Norris. That'll be out of Ryan Zimmerman's reach. So Jed Jerko, 2 homers tonight, 10 on the year, 37 RBIs.
Kind of looked like Ron Say right there on that swing.
Yeah, that's a good call. Jerko listed at 5'10", 205. Penguin-like.
It's the best nickname ever, by the way. The Penguin.
0-1 pitch.
It's in the clubhouse at Dodger Stadium. It's like a walking museum there. He was in the clubhouse. Davey Lopes is a coach there. Tommy Lasorda was in the. I mean, it was Steve Garvey. It was a living museum of great Dodgers everywhere.
Another one of these home run nights in D.C. Jansen's fastball misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Melvin Upton, Justin's older brother, to hit for the pitcher next if the inning continues. Fans want to get up and stretch again. But they'll have to wait. That's a base hit up the middle. And Derek Norris checks in with his first knock of the night. And it'll be Upton.
Swinging the bat well. He's hitting .311 in August with a .578 slugging percentage, .918 OPS. You look at Matt Thornton getting loose in the Nats bullpen. And what are we arguing about here?
I think somebody got tossed. Not sure what this is about. His guy just got a base hit. That's Pat Murphy. Took over after they fired Bud Black, who was one game under .500 when he got fired. And this is getting interesting.
I think he's still frustrated about the Bryce Harper foul ball thing. He could see him say it wasn't even close, and the only thing you could say that wasn't even close maybe was that.
Yeah.
A lot of times when those things happen, players and even coaches will run up in the clubhouse and look at the video between innings, and it will make something that was missed a little more heated the following inning.
And the conclusion, I guess, Pete, we could draw from this was that must not have been reviewable.
Right.
Because they would have challenged that.
Absolutely.
So on the heels of a base hit, Pat Murphy ejected. Got his money's worth.
See the replay. There's kind of some action going on between David Rackley and the dugout right there. And he just said, "That's enough."
Yeah, he just kind of waved him out of the ballpark.
See ya. Just speculation. I'm sure there's a little frustration still.
That ball just missed the third base bag. And suddenly Casey Jansen's given up some hard hit balls here. Melvin Upton is 5 for 13 career against him. With a home run, they faced each other a bunch in the American League.
Melvin Upton signed to that 5-year, $72.25 million contract with the Braves and struggled a couple of years there, hitting .198.
And it's Upton high in the air to left. Worth feeling his way back to the fence. Room to spare. And that'll get us to the 7th inning stretch with a bit of an exhale after a home run and a long out top of the 7th. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch at Nationals Park. Out on the concourse not far from where Johnny and Ray work. Good night for the offense. It's been an interesting night for the Gnomes. One of them has a hit. He has scored a run. A couple of them have knocked over some of our presidents, and one of them fancies himself a broadcaster.
I've been wearing this since the first inning. I'll probably have to wear it the rest of the year.
You kind of look like the Worth Gnome with the glasses and the hair.
I'm in the spirit of the evening. Anthony Rendon with a couple of hits. Made a nice play at second base. Nats up by 5 runs. Hoping for some Phillies runs up in Philadelphia, and I'll just wear this to bed tonight. I don't care. Whatever it takes, man. It's that time of year.
Well, I was once told as a young broadcaster, every night you go to the ballpark, you'll see something you didn't expect. Trey Turner gets an AB here, still looking for that first big league hit. And he faces the right-hander Sean Kelly. On the edge. .31-year-old right-hander from Louisville, Kentucky. Big league time from 09 through 012 with Seattle. Yankees last couple of years a combined 116 games out of the New York bullpen. Turner, strike 3. So Trey now as a big league hitter, 0 for 4. Top of the order, Yunel Escobar. Check out the Nats Thursday now. That's September 3rd next week. Braves will be here. You'll get a Nationals nesting doll set featuring Scherzer, Harper, Zimmerman, Chad Cordero, and Frank Robinson. 100 lucky fans who find a golden ticket in that box will receive a limited edition 10-piece nesting doll. That's a fair ball. 206-675-NATS or nationals.com to get your seats. Nest with the Nats on that Thursday next week, and here comes Worth.
That one's going to be tough for me to wear on TV, but we'll figure it out.
Jason Worth on base twice tonight. I mean, not that far removed from the leadoff spot, batting second, but still getting on board. Slider low and away.
Getting back up that leadoff spot after hitting 7th, he felt like, okay, I'm doing something to really contribute now. I don't know that he felt like that hitting 7th.
First inning walk, 4th inning single. Facing Kelly for the first time, and that's a good fastball low in the zone, tailing to the inside edge. Mets just went out in the 7th, so they're stretching in Philly, 6-5 New York. Good eye on a pretty good slider. That ball drilled to center. Couple of steps over to his right, Jankowski. The Nats go quickly, bottom 7. Rest of it's up to the bullpen. 5-run Washington lead. tomorrow night, but his name is Tyson. He's 8-9. Joe's older brother, 3.32. And on the road, he's won 8. Had 8 decisions, won 5 of them this year, and Gio gets bumped up. There was an off day Monday. The Nats will hold Max Scherzer until Saturday to get things lined up for the Mets in a couple of weeks, and Gio going for number 10. He's been good against the Padres in his career, unbeaten. And then in the Thursday game, final game of the series, the Nats will come right back with Joe Ross, and they'll see Andrew Kashner from San Diego.
Time for your T-Mobile fan photo. And there they are at a Nats game. Looks like they're early, too. Nobody in the stands, or maybe they stayed late. Can't figure it out. But tweet your strongest fan photo, hashtag NatsCouchCam. You just might see yourself on TV. Thanks, guys.
Evidently a couch out in center field. Matt Thornton. Travis Jankowski leads off for San Diego. That's up and in. Jankowski hitting 9th behind the pitcher. Foul ball to third, ground ball to short, and he tries to drop one to left, but it's well foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chopper, right side, charging Rendon. Glove, underhand, he's out. Say Jankowski gets down the line about as well as anybody in the league. He made a play with Desmond close 3 innings ago. Top of the order now, Solarte and Spangenberg, the next 2. And we want to correct something. Evidently, the Nationals, just before the start of tonight's game, announced that it'll be Max Scherzer Friday and Jordan Zimmerman Saturday against Miami. But that doesn't change the matchups for this series. But the Nats will push Max Scherzer back from tomorrow till Friday. And a base hit by Solarte, who's 1 for 4 tonight.
And now they have Scherzer, Zimmerman, and Strasburg lined up to face the Mets when they come into town in that order. First things first.
Ian Desmond's going to come in for a quick visit with Matt Thornton here, with Corey Spangenberg stepping in. Interesting, the Padres in the last inning and a third have more hits than they had in 6 innings against the outstanding Steven Strasburg tonight. Looks like Clint Barmas is now the hitter for Spangenberg. Veteran infielder, right-handed batter. 36-year-old Clint Barmas. 2 for 16 with an RBI as a pinch hitter and batting .253 overall. Swing and a miss on a good tailing heater from Matt Thornton. Well hit. 0-2 pitch. And it's 2 on, 1 out.
That's a nice at bat for Barmas off the bench. 0-2 count, lines a single in the left, and that's going to do it for Matt Thornton. Here comes Matt Williams.
He has some right-handed bats, Kemp, Upton, and Alonso with Thump coming up. So Matt Thornton will face 3 hitters, give up 2 hits, and he'll be gone. So deeper into the Nats bullpen we go. 8-3, eighth inning, and Blake Trinan is on the way. The Nats have some work to do before Ryan Zimmerman's grand slam could be identified as the crushing blow of this game. It's 8-3, 2 men aboard, and here's Matt Kemp, who is 2 for 3 career against Blake Trinan. The slider gets a strike all, 89 to the outside edge. It's a great pitch.
Yeah, Matt Williams liking the two-seam fastball, mid to upper 90s slider combination versus Matt Kemp in this situation. Had Blake Trinan ready to rock, and a nice slider for strike one.
And then Kemp. I tell you, the Padres have seen some gas tonight, huh? Steven Strasburg topped out at 98. That was a click below that from Blake Trinan. Ball guided up the middle. Desmond to his left. And Rendon turns the 6-4-3. A big league double play by the Nats up the middle. Their 86th of the year. And that quells the threat here.
grand slam. You know, Escobar having a nice night, 2 for 3 at the double. Wilson Ramos had a home run. That was his 11th. And let's check out Ryan Zimmerman's grand slam. Go back to the 6th inning, 2 outs. Bases loaded, and he got a fastball on the inner half and hit it out to right center field. Initially, I thought that ball was outside. He just drove it that way, but the inside-out swing, getting the barrel to the baseball, showing some serious pop the other way and having some fun. And a little curtain call, and the loudest we've heard Nats Park in a long time, 106-mile-an-hour tater.
Clint Barmas stays into play short. That'll move Jed Jerko over to second base, and the new pitcher, 38-year-old veteran now, Joaquin Benoit.
Fastball 94, slider 87, changeup his out pitch at 84.
God, this guy seems to have a 2-something ERA every year. 155 opponent's batting average with a 2.22. Always a tough customer, no matter where he pitches. A lot of years with Texas. A stop in Tampa Bay, 3 years in Detroit, his second year now with the Padres.
I mean, when you block Blake Trinan in, you were thinking, okay, that 2-seam fastball is going to get the double play. It was actually the slider that had Kemp out in front that got the inning-ending double play.
And that ball well hit. Anthony Rendon to left, and that moves Justin Upton over.
Swinging it good.
The boys are centering the ball lately into the 10 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. BCFP DK. The Nats tied it with 2 in the second after the Jerko homer when Ramos went deep. And the Ryan Zimmerman grand slam, the exhale swing of the night, made a close ball game 8-2. Bryce Harper on his last 2 times, double, walk, 2 runs scored, and he's 2 runs from scoring 90 this year. Guides it to the left side, but that's where the third baseman Solarte was, 2 outs.
And check out the Peanuts. Their season's almost over. They have Fan Appreciation Week, September 1st through the 7th. Weekend fireworks, $1 ticket Monday, September 7th. For all your ticket and promotional information, visit PotomacNationals.com. Two for 3, a double, a single, a walk, an RBI, 2 runs. Nifty little catch over in front of the Padres dugout. Having a big night.
Yeah, busy night. Slider low and away from Benoit. Escobar 0 for 2 career against him. Nobody throwing in the Nats bullpen. Looks like Blake Trinan gets the assignment for the last 5 outs. Two-0 pitch.
I'll tell you what, the lineup being back together in 8 runs is going to get a lot of attention tonight. But the story was Steven Strasburg once again. I mean, he is as good as we've seen him on a consistent basis his last 7 or 8 starts. And he was impressive. 97, 98, sat around 96, 97, had a number of 98-mile-an-hour fastballs, and the command with that fastball to the glove side away from righties. And once you establish that command, you can miss with 97, 98 on the other side of the plate every once in a while and get away with it. But a dominant performance once again from Strasburg, and that's a good thing.
2-2 to Escobar. Time given. And Benoit misses outside, held on to the fastball.
Always grinding. Doesn't matter what the score is. Every single pitch, every single at bat.
Took a little bit off, looked like a fastball, dived at the end.
3-2 change, a little smile out to the mound. These guys obviously know each other. This is all two guys that know each other, or at least respect each other.
Yeah, longtime American League opponents. And Escobar gets the last smile. He's going to go down to first base, and we'll get one more ovation for Ryan Zimmerman tonight.
It's been a while since we've had a curtain call here at Nats Park. That was fun. Did you know Escobar twirl his bat, catch it, all as he was getting ready to take off his shin guard after ball 4? He flipped his bat around. It did a 360. He caught it by the handle, set it down, and then took his shin guard off, all in one motion after ball 4.
Big guy to have around the office, multitasker. And they're giving Escobar second base if he wants, playing way behind him, but he's just hanging out of the bag with a 5-run game here.
See, this I don't understand. If you're going to give me second and it's a 5-run lead, I'm going to take it every single time. And if you don't want me to go, hold me on.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this. It's okay. You're up by 5, and that's the unwritten rule in baseball. Up by 5, you're not supposed to run. You're supposed to shut down your running game. But how many times have we seen comebacks this year? I mean, it's not like they're up by 9 right now. They're up by 5 runs.
One ball, one strike with 2 outs. Not a whole lot you can do with that heater up there.
Yeah, I don't think he liked this one at all.
So he went up and got that one, and it'll be out of play to the right side.
And for those fans that may not know the unwritten rule, air quotes, up by 5 after 5 it is basically the standard. You don't run anymore. And if you know Escobar goes right here, you may endanger Ryan Zimmerman by getting hit by a pitch. But my thought always was, if you don't want me to run this situation, then put your first baseman on and hold me on. And you understand why Escobar is not going, because you don't want anybody hurt up by 5 runs, but it's only 5 runs. It's not like this is a blowout by any means. Right? It's a nice lead. It's not a blowout.
Swing and a miss, and the Nats are gone in the 8th. Plenty of offense tonight, though. 8-3 lead, 3 outs for Blake Trinan to get. you by Land Rover. Above and beyond. Sounds like the home runs flying out of this ballpark lately. Nats hit 6 in the Milwaukee series. 2 more tonight. They've driven in 6 of their 8 runs with the long ball. And this one goes to the top of the ninth for Blake Trinan to face 4-5-6 against the Pods. Blake 3 pitches, 3 strikes. And he got Matt Kemp on that 6-4-3 double play ball that might have been San Diego's last gasp tonight. We'll see as he faces Justin Upton, who's 1 for 4 career against him.
Justin Upton's hitting .306 at Petco Park this year with 15 home runs and 40 RBI. 64 for 209 on the road before tonight. 212 with 5 home runs and 27 RBIs and 217 at bats.
And for a lot of hitters, it's the other way around.
Right.
It's not a hitter's yard out there. This one out to right, and Bryce Harper is there. 1 out. So the Nats' next 5 tomorrow night against San Diego. Tyson Ross against Gio, looking for number 10. On Thursday, Joe Ross for the Nats, Andrew Kashner for the Padres, and then Max Scherzer and Jordan Zimmerman get the first 2 calls against the Mets in night games Friday, Saturday, day game Sunday, Marlins. And then the Nats go to St. Louis for 3 night games and come right back here against Atlanta and the Mets. That long home stretch that we were looking forward to.
He can run that fastball back like that against lefties consistently. You'll see the left-handed average against go down in a hurry. That was a good pitch.
A live arm with all the stuff you could want. Yonder Alonso 1 for 3. He is 1 for 2 career against Blake Trinan. Look at the late sink on that. And I say late, everything's kind of late when it's 96. Ball's on you in a heartbeat. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight here at the ballpark. Nats Extra. Ryan Zimmerman, the big blow. He's up to 10 home runs now and 53 runs batted in. Hot shot left side, unreachable for Escobar. And Yonder Alonso, who's always had a live bat, 2 for 4 tonight. Padres aren't going without some noise. And next up is their 2 home run guy, Jed Jerko. Blake Trinan has faced him once, grounded him out.
Little Ron say it's not that bad a comparison, right?
I'm telling you, he is getting some hacks tonight. Blake misses low, 1-1. Third base, Escobar, Rendon around the horn, and it's over. Very impressive 3-hour and 8-minute performance by the Nats tonight. Steven Strasburg gave up the early homer. Then he set a really good tone for the rest of the night.
He was great. The offense was great. The band's back together. You know, we talked about it all night. Tonight just felt different. It felt like it was supposed to be all year, and you're hoping that it's going to be this way the rest of the year.
And I think the fans picked up on that. There was quite an atmosphere before this one started. Well, now it's over, and the Nats have won 5 of their last 7. More to wrap it up in a few moments.